Ready, fight!
From the producers of the Japanese PlayStation 2 game Dead or Alive 2 comes the all-new, all-American version DOA 2 Hardcore. It's got fearless fighters, way cool control, and scads of incredible women. Hey, keep your pants on, fellas, because it's time to hear from the game director, Tom Itagaki, on what makes this fighting game so sweet.
There
are three things that make a fighting game great. First of all, we focus on the motion of the game. Secondly, we work on the playability or control. And thirdly, we think about what will feel the best when we play. The visual and sound are secondary. It doesn't matter how good it looks or how good it sounds if you don't have those three things: motion, control, and the good feeling. What I mean by motion is that it is not just the attacks, but is the entire movement of the character, from standing position to fighting. The stance of the character is quite important. No matter how good of an attack this particular character might have, if his stance does not look cool, you aren't getting the full benefit of the motion. Of course, the standing is one thing, but the attacks do need to look good. And when you get hit, you need to look like you're in pain. That relates to the good feeling that you get as a player.
Okay, besides the motion, the control, and that I love it when my face is bashed in feeling, we needed to know what separates DOA 2 Hardcore from the other fighting games.
The controls of the game are based on the Japanese game Janken, or rock, paper, scissors. In the past, fighting games have only had two types of moves, offensive and defensive. So I added the third component, the hold button. The concept of Janken is so simple. It is something that everyone can relate to. That is why when we apply it to a fighting game, it works. The typical block feature of other games are low risk, low return. Our hold button allows you to do high risk, high return. Also, we do have a regular block mode as well.
Speaking of blocks, DOA 2 Hardcore features a bunch of blockbuster new levels. The question is, what inspired these new levels? And did those amazing women have anything to do with it?
We created 3 new levels for this game. Crimson is based on the city of Hong Kong. I designed the desert scene from the Great Plains of America. And in the dojo, I wanted to introduce Japanese culture to Americans. Whenever I come to America, I'm impressed by it and touched by it. When American gamers play the dojo level, I want them to feel the same thing, to be impressed by it and touched by it. So I included subtle details like a shiny wooden floor and the paper partition door that you can knock out if you want to. These things are very Japanese, and I'm hoping that gamers will get a feel for the culture. There are also 2 other new levels, but you'll have to wait and see them for yourself.
Delayed gratification is so 90s, but it looks like we don't have a choice. What we do have a choice is asking another question, and that is, what else can our gung-ho gamers expect?
DOA 2 Hardcore is not just a fighting game. I look at it as a fighting action game. So if you keep playing the game and punch a wall or break a door, it may show you things that will surprise you.
One thing that was no surprise to us was the incredible animation. We wanted to know how they were able to capture such realism, so we went to the source, lead animator Hiroaki Matsui, who explains how he got his dojo, mojo, working.
Basically, we start off with a hand drawing of the character. That is always the basis. And then in order to capture some live feel, we use motion capture. After that, we go back to the hand drawing. We enhance the motion capture images. We take a video of the motion capture to aid in touching up the motion capture by hand.
This is power, Lei Fang!
There's something about DOA 2 Hardcore that makes the game feel very much like a movie.
You don't know anything about power.
And it's not just the gratuitous violence, ear-piercing sound effects, and female fighters. We looked at Itagaki-san to shed some light on the subject.
In the past, fighting games often had a cinema mode that tells the backstory. During game, you switch back and forth from cinema to game mode. Because the quality between the two modes was very different, it tended to break the flow. What we tried to do with DOA 2 is to have a seamless transition from cinema to the gameplay. I believe that is what gives you the movie-like experience. This is why we need to use the DVD platform of the PlayStation 2.
DOA 2 Hardcore is not only a bone-breaking game, but a groundbreaking game as well. In short, we love it. But will there be more games like it? We asked director Tom Itagaki to tell us what's up for the future.
I am in the midst of figuring that out myself, and I'm talking to a lot of people and giving it deep thought. Right now, my game is the future.